Hey Cass, how are you today?
I'm great. Morning, Lisa. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So, what would you like to play with today?
I've got a productivity dilemma I would like to play with today. As you know, I'm very productive and effective when I'm on.
Hmm.
And what I've noticed in the recent weeks is that I'm working 10 to 12-hour days during the week. So I'm not doing anything on my personal stuff.
Hmm.
And so I have a system. I use OmniFocus. I've got all my projects in there, my actions, the things I want to do. I've got them. And if I think of anything new, I add it. So that's not really an issue. The issue is that every single week I do a weekly review and I look at all my personal stuff and I'm not making any progress. And so I kind of would like to unlock what's stopping me, because it's not a time thing. It's mainly, I watched 2 movies yesterday. I don't remember the last time I did that. I just did not want to do anything. So I sat in front of the TV. And then I'm like this morning going, oh, well, I could not have done that, but I haven't done that every weekend and I'm still not achieving, if you know what I mean. I'm not getting things done that I would like to. And I mean, for you to know, for the purpose of the coaching session, my two values are fun and achievement. So if I'm not having fun and I'm not getting things done, I don't feel great. And that's how I feel. I don't feel great.
Yeah, good. Excellent. So, when was the last time you gave yourself a space of really deep rest where there was no have to, where you were just chilling out? And I know you said you watched a couple of movies, but is that an anomaly or is that
That's an anomaly,
yeah,
definitely an
okay.
anomaly. So I
Yeah.
did rest yesterday, and it's funny you asked that question, because I think the last time I stopped was um, earlier this year. I don't know if it was April or May. I went to Eden for a week, for 6 days, and I try to go there every year, or no less frequently than 2 years, because it's the only place I really turn off. And I think if I was to replicate that at home, oh my God, that would be awesome. Because why I like it there is that there's no technology, there's no internet, there's no television, there's no screens, there's no nothing. And yeah, just you asking that question has made me realize that actually I need time off the devices to really rest.
Yeah. Because, like, if you're working 10, 12 hours a day, and I've been doing a lot of that lately too. And what I'm noticing is literally everything is about rest. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So, what I want to ask you, so first of all, so no screen time is one way that you feel like you get that really deep rest, right?
Yes, yes,
And that doesn't mean you have to do nothing. It means you need to then do something that you enjoy, that is restorative.
yes.
Okay. And it's not necessarily goal oriented, because I mean, you are really amazing in terms of, your goals and what you achieve and all that stuff. And I know that you love achievement, right?
Yeah.
And achievement will come a lot easier and with more fun if you allow yourself the deep rest.
Yes. Yeah.
So my question to you is, how much deep rest do you need in a week to actually allow everything to flow?
That's a really good question.
And it might be something you need to experiment with. You may not have an answer right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's not something to do just on the weekend.
No.
I think I need to have some time every week, every weeknight. I mean, yeah, yeah. What's coming to me is that when I leave work, I need to leave work at work and not work at home, which is most of the time. I don't work at home, but occasionally I do. But I guess that the question that I don't know the answer to is, what do I like to do? What do I enjoy doing that doesn't involve screens or internet or whatever? Like, I like mandalas, but I couldn't imagine spending more than half an hour a week doing that.
Yeah,
Like, I
cool.
just
So
could.
it's one thing. So
Yes.
what you need is a list
Oh,
of
yeah.
20 things
Mm-hmm.
that give you that energy of deep rest that actually refresh you. Because really the question here is, what refreshes you, right?
Yes.
And so it might be some creative things. It might be some nurturing things. It might be some really playful things,
Mm.
right? And so what I'm going to say to you is, you need to have a big list of those, so that when you come home and you're tired and maybe a bit cranky or whatever,
Yeah.
then you can look at that list and there'll be something that'll pop out that you'll go, oh yeah, that if I do that, I'm going to feel way better. Because what happens is, when we work that much and we're on the screens a lot, is our body has no space for restoration, because restoration doesn't come from a screen, unfortunately. It'd be
No.
really good if it did, but it just doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, last night I went and my neighbors had a bonfire, and I was like outside under the stars.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I could do this every night. I do not have to wait for someone to have a bonfire.
Yeah.
And yes, it's quite chilly, but I was already wrapped up in blankets. So what's the difference, right?
Yeah.
And I think
Nice.
that we're really good at telling ourselves why we can't do these things. And having the excuse of, oh, that would be too much this, or that wouldn't be not enough that, or, and I wonder if you just put those things there on that list and then have them set up so that if you want to do one of them, it's really easy to do.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That's, I think, the other part of this is we go, oh yeah, but then I, I'll do my art, but I'd have to clean up the art space first,
Yeah.
And all of these kinds of stories that we tell ourselves. And so yesterday I cleaned up the art space just enough to do some art.
Nice.
No, not really. So, but it was enough space to actually be able to do something, right?
Yes.
So if you were to look at those things, now, what else does Eden give you that, besides the lack of technology, which is a big one, I totally agree. So what else does it give you that you don't have at the moment?
Everybody that's there is there for the same reason. So we're all there, I mean, different variations, but we're all there to have a retreat, to be healthy. There's classes, like I always learn things. I make new connections, meet fabulous people. There's also a really good day spa there. And so I get wonderful treatments, massages, whatever. So, and there's a bath. I have a bath every single day when I'm at Eden. I pay extra to get the room with the bath. It's pivotal to my, like it's critical. I've got a bath at home, and I used to have a bath every single Sunday afternoon, and I got out of the habit of it. So I probably need to re-implement that. Yeah, it's one of the 20 things for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, when I say 20, have 50, have as many.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
got two
20
now.
because sometimes if I say 50, people look at me like, are you serious?
That will be a stretch for me. 20 will be a stretch. And I'm sure once I start making the list, it will be.
Yeah.
I've got things I want to teach myself or learn about that don't require the internet or the screens. Like I want to learn how to use my new steam pod to straighten my hair. Like, if I think about it, there'll be plenty of examples.
Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah. So that's, I think, the first thing in this picture is literally the deep rest. Okay. Because my sense is if you get that, then actually you will, and it's funny because like, last night someone's saying to me, you need to rest. And I'm like, today I woke up and I'm like, busily doing things that are work related, let's just say. And yet, because I had a good rest last night, and I literally chose not to talk to people the entire way through that whole bonfire. I sat there by myself for quite a while, very happily.
Wow.
And so I wonder too for you, because you're very people oriented, right?
Yes.
And I wonder, does it give you more energy to be with people, or is it sometimes good for you not to be with people? Which of those is actually working better for you in terms of deep rest?
Definitely the latter. I do get energized from meeting with people, and I love being with people. And that's what I do all day, every day now. And so my time at home, I don't like making plans during the week. I have one regular Tuesday night girls dinner with girls every week if we're available. And I'm not willing to commit to anything else because I just need that time to myself. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So then look at what are all the things that will actually allow you to have this. And I think it's about stillness and peace as well. Because, there's a difference between being by yourself and not being present with yourself, and being by yourself and being really present with the peace, with the stillness, with the possibility of just living, being alive, breathing, And I noticed last night, very few people could do that. They all had to keep talking, even though we're in this spectacular place. There was a lot of talking, and it's not a judgment of those people, but I was just so aware of how few people actually are willing to just be present with the space. And for me, that's a really restorative thing, and I suspect it may be for you as well. And maybe get yourself, like, because you've got a little garden,
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe get yourself a fold back chair, like a lie back chair.
I just bought one. I haven't sat in it yet. I mean, and when I say I just bought it, I bought it months ago, Lisa, and I just set it up last weekend and I still haven't sat in it.
Okay, so I'd be taking that outside, doing a little stargazing here and there,
Yeah.
wrap up yourself in a few blankets. Like, just these things can be really simple things, right?
Well,
They do
even
not
reading a
have,
real book, a paper book
yes,
out there
paper
in the
books.
sun would be so nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
See, you're up to at least 6 or 7
Yeah,
already.
that's right.
Yeah.
This will
So,
be evening.
yeah. So now when we look at the thing of your personal projects, because there's a
Yeah.
part 2 to this, right? Because you need the
Yes.
rest. So the rest comes first,
Got
okay?
it.
You've
Okay.
got to give yourself the rest first. And I would say a minimum of an hour a day and 1 day a week if you can do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And like, I don't necessarily do that every day, but I do my best. And it's not an hour of not working, it's an hour of restorative practice in some way, right? And there's a big difference between those two things, because we can often find an hour to just do nothing.
That's
but
right.
is that restorative is the question.
Yeah, so
Okay.
watching TV is not restorative, even though it might be entertaining and relaxing. It's not restorative. I like that word. That
Yeah. Yeah, it's the key, because I would look at it and I'd go, but I'm doing all these things that technically are great, but I realized my body did not get deep rest from those things, and that was the thing that flipped it. Okay, so that's the first part. Second part, so with your personal projects, so how many of them do you still want to do, and how many of them, I'm
God,
sorry,
you're just like in my head, Lisa, because I was just thinking, I don't remember the last time that I did a review of them with that lens of, are they really what I want to do? So
yeah,
I will do that today. I think that's a really good thing, to review it and have this question of, is this going to, will I feel like I'm having fun, and will I have a sense of achievement if I complete it? And if not, if it's an obligation or an old idea, I can just knock it off. Like, and if it comes back later on and I think, oh, actually, I really do want to learn that, then, or do that or whatever, I can do it.
Yeah, definitely do that. And I would say, so how many personal projects have you got on the list right now? Roughly.
Organized, I can tell you, I would have 20.
Okay, cool. That's a lot. And there's nothing wrong with having a lot, right?
Yeah.
What I want to say to you, so are any of them getting finished?
One is, I've worked a couple of hours every single week to close it, because it's to do with closing my business email.
Yeah. Okay.
So that one I'm making progress on, but I think that's the only one I'm even touching. Like the others, I'm skimming them, Lisa. I can't even remember what's in there. I can just see there's a big.
Okay, cool. So what I'm going to say to you is, choose one that really does need doing, and one, right, and do it, because then that's a thinking, oh my God, I should do that thing. It's the shoulds.
Yes.
Okay. Move it out of the space and choose one that you're going to really enjoy.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Okay. And then literally just move between those two until they're done. And then, so always have one that you really enjoy and one that does need doing.
Okay. Yeah.
Flip between them, so that in any given week you are spending some time on them, but you're also getting joy and you're getting satisfaction, basically.
Great idea. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good. So how does that feel as an approach?
Fantastic. I'm very excited about it. I will check in at the end of the day, if that's okay.
Yes, of course you can. You totally can. You can, absolutely. All right, well, have fun, and I would love to know how you go, and how much joy can you have with all of it, really, is the question. Because I know you're very focused, and that's a beautiful thing. There's a lot of people who are not very focused, but it's like, focus on the joy you can have through the processes as well.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Lisa. It's wonderful. Thanks so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
You're awesome. Bye.
Oh, so part 2. So funny. We're having the conversation after the conversation. And it was because Cass mentioned that, time. And it's so easy to get stuck in the thing around time and think, oh, that'll take that much time, and I don't want to use that time on that when we're talking about deep rest. And yet I've actually had to remove time from, it's like in the space that is not my work time, I have done my best to remove time from the equation. Because, well, I don't go to, oh, it'll take this much time. I go to, would I like to do this or not? Would this actually create something for me or not? Because what I noticed was, when I went to time, same deal, I would stop making the choices that I actually really wanted to make.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
just let time, just say, okay, this is my no time time.
Yeah, great. I love
My
it.
time is irrelevant time for the next 4 hours or whatever it is for you, and I do it in blocks. I literally go, okay, for the next 4 hours, time is not in the equation. What would I like to choose now? And that I've found is working really well, because it stops you from thinking you're wasting time and all these things, because you've given yourself the freedom to actually choose anything you want in that time frame.
Yeah, I love that idea. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to make my list.
Cool. Okay.
All right.